Hey, welcome back to the channel. Anyhow, I've been busy at work here, tearing down this Jeep 4.0 out of I think it's out of a Wrangler or a YJ, or I don't know. It's from '89. The head seems good, no cracks. Valves are good, no burns. The crank journals are in, well, they're in relatively good shape. And I can't really even catch my fingernail on those. I'm getting ready to mark the main journal caps so I remember where they go. I got the pistons over here. The bearings in those were not really that worn out. So I'll go ahead and turn this over here. Wow. That's what I want to look at here. Let me get a rag here. The cylinder walls, I don't know if you can see that right here. That's a pretty good sized lip in there. So probably going to need to have this machined. Probably going to have it bored out 30 over, or however much it needs to take that lip out of there. And then I'll have to order some rings for that, some oversized rings, so we can get that done. This, it needs a new harmonic balancer. That one's, Jeep used the two-piece there. Let's see if I can get some light on it here. Wow. There we go. So anyway, they used a two-piece on this, and as you can see right there, it's going to fall apart, so we'll order a new one of those. Those are relatively cheap. But I called around to a couple of the local machine shops to see if I could get some prices on what they're going to charge me to go ahead and machine this. And I have not heard back from any of them, so still going to be waiting on that. I mean, there's a little bit of surface rust, but I haven't seen any major cracks or leaks anywhere. So, let's go ahead and pull one of these off and take a look at it. I'll pull this guy. This is number 3. Oh, look at that. They're already numbered. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. I don't even have to put a punch to them. That makes me happy. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah. Looks like this one's going to cause me some issues here. There we go. Pop that guy loose. Oh! Anyhow, you can pop that guy loose there. Let's see what we got. Sorry about the camera stuff. Like, I don't have a tripod or any of that. And, it's not. Oh. That looks really, really good. Like, really good. So we can clean that up. Oh, yeah. Like, hardly any wear in there. And even the sides look relatively good. This one's the thrust bearing. It keeps the crankshaft from doing this. Yeah, that looks really good too. Originally, I was going to rebuild the motor that is in my Jeep, but the crank in that motor doesn't look so great. It's by far much worse than this one is. It's got some very, very, very big grooves in the rod journals, and I haven't even looked at anything else. But the cam in this, the cam looks great. I mean, it's obviously used, but there's almost no wear at all. And the lifters themselves have next to no wear on them. So, I mean, really, it looks like someone decided that this engine was tired and they just didn't want to play with it anymore. They didn't want to throw any more money at it. The guy I got it from said that he was going to rebuild it, and he decided he was going to put a diesel in his YJ. So I'm starting to believe that what he was telling me was true, because there is, I mean, yeah, it's dirty, but there's no visible cracks that I can see, which are normally right in between the valves, and I haven't seen any cracks in the pistons or any of that stuff. I mean, I have seen a lot of oil buildup in these little valleys here. You can still see some right here, right there. So dirt and grease and what have you. But for the most part, this is relatively clean. I'm gonna deck the head, or shave it, should I say. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and then I got some Dykem dye coming. I'm gonna go ahead and dye this, and then shave it down flat, and try to take. I don't know. I think I want to try to take as much as possible off this head to get that extra compression, and then having it bored over. I thought about making this a stroker motor, but I think I'm going to leave it as stock as possible. I'm just going to shave the head, bring the compression up, and replace all the bearings and clean up the other internals. I mean, everything is still really tight tolerances except for the bores themselves. So I'm kind of excited. Like I've got a rebuild coming for this motor already. I did order standard rings, which I'm obviously not going to use at this point because I'm going to have this punched out. But the rebuild, I paid under $500 for it. Comes with a new oil pump, all new bearings, pistons, rings, all the what are those freeze plugs? They're called a bunch of things. I call them freeze plugs. And then I should just be able to take this motor once it's done and stick it in my Jeep, pull out the old one, and rebuild that. And this has been about I don't know, 4 hours of work at the most. And like I haven't really been going too quick at it, just kind of taking it apart a little bit at a time and seeing what is going on inside of it. But I'm going to go ahead and tear the rest of it down, get the cam out of it, get the timing cover off of it, get the oil pump off of it, and get this thing ready to send out to the machine shop and get it machined. So that's where we're at on this build. This I'm spending as little money as possible on this. I'm doing the bare minimum. And as far as I'm concerned, the only thing this really needs for my needs is just the cylinders bored, so they are straight and square, and it's very important. This motor definitely has 300,000 miles on it, just by looking at the cylinder walls themselves. They're well worn. And I also understand that these early model motors, before 9091, they ran a much stiffer piston ring. If you want to look there, those are the rings. These are much stiffer than what they started running in 91 and later. So they have a tendency to wear out the cylinder walls faster. When I did pull out the number 1 cylinder, I actually, let's see if I can see it here. Yeah, there it is. So that was one of the compression rings from the number 1 piston. It literally just broke off. So it's old. I mean, it's old, but I think that I got this motor for a good deal. As a rebuildable core, I paid $100 for this off of Marketplace, and that's super cheap for what I got. And everything in this is going to be reusable and rebuildable. So I should have a motor after this that will produce more than the factory rated 200 horsepower. I'm going to go ahead and at some point during this process, I will be where are we at? So I will be porting the head that goes back on this. It may be this head that goes back on it. As far as I know, these heads are interchangeable. The head on my 91, the ports are actually, well, quite a bit larger than these ones are. But if you look at it here, you can see all this space around here, this line. That's all. That can all be opened up. I can literally take all this metal out of here, open up the ports, and have a much better, much more high flow head. Not sure how far into this metal I can go, but I know that I can take quite a bit of metal out of here. These right here, I can get rid of this. Just come across here, get rid of this whole piece. This is where the injectors actually spray down in here. They spray down straight into the intake there. So I can open this up quite a bit. It'll stop spraying this wall. It'll get a nice spray right down on there to the intake valves. Keep them cooler and produce more flow and more power. So I don't know. I'm really happy with the $100 that I paid for all this, because I know that these things are not cheap. They're not cheap new. They're definitely quite a bit more than I paid for this long block. Is basically what this all is. It's a long block, and for a long block, you're looking at least $2,000. So $100 for a used engine that you know, it's usable. I can build on this. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, share it, whatever you're supposed to do on YouTube or whatever. If you enjoyed the content, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and keep going on this, get it all cleaned up, and hopefully we can show a finished result here fairly soon.